so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know. My
youngest
rapper
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like.
in
Oh God,
professional
here goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. We have a review here. Yes, it's not the major wrestling company of the WWE, SmackDown, Raw, or NXT, TNA, but the one and only Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW. I happen to have one of the rare Saturdays evenings off before the UFC, and of course I was intrigued. Of course, a fan of Tiffany Nieves and Layla Gray as Mr. Pectoral. The wrestlers out there on OVW had their Independence pay-per-view 2024, and I'm here to review it. I'm here to give you my thoughts and my opinion on it. In a card, of course, I'm just a casual wrestler fan of OVW. I say whenever I have a chance to put them over and say good things about them, what they do, I always say this, and I say this with sincerity and with truth, is I wish I had a lot of time to consume the OVW product on Thursday nights. I mean, because they every time I watch OVW, the spare time that I do, I get captivated. I enjoy it. I understand what they're doing there in Kentucky with their wrestling program. They're entertaining that region, that territory, in top notch to their abilities financially, just where they could reach out, and when I could have a chance to watch their premium event, for the premium event to sit down and watch it, they'll grab my attention. So that's why I wanted to put this video. I was passionate. I thought about it. I watched it. I was going to do a reaction video. Then the UFC started. We were doing the watch along for the UFC with my son, and I wanted to wait to go over the OVW card. Of course, the headlining by the main event, Luke Curtis with Doug Basham taking on EC3 with Cyrus in his corner for the national championship, OVW National Championship. That's the main event there. They also had the women's matchup with Tiffany Nieves taking on Layla Gray, a friendship broken down with storylines, implications there. It was building for this matchup between these ladies. Of course, Layla Gray, four-time OVW Women's Champion. Tiffany Nieves, I believe she's the current NWA Women's Champion. And, of course, the Southern Tag Team Champions, of course, Luke Lawless and Dustin Jackson taking on Tuscan Chains. And of the OVW Media Champion, Tony Gunn versus Kyle Hero, everyone's hero, the late birthday boy there. And, of course, Buzz Backlund, Will Austin for the OVW Rush title, and so many other good matches there. I'm going to give you the matches I saw because I came in a little bit after right there. I saw the Buzz Backlund, Will Austin. Congratulations to Will Austin, who gets a victory on Buzz Backlund. Buzz Backlund, I enjoy that character. He's in the amateur wrestling gear, similar to Josh Alexander. But, of course, Backlund, good job. First and foremost, I want to give kudos to Brian Kenderson, Linda Kay, and Josh Ashcroft. Ashcroft, former wrestler, or I don't know if he's still wrestling, but they caught us up to speed. At least myself, I don't watch it all the time. When I could watch it, but the way they in the announce team kept telling us about the backstories and telling us about what happened on Thursday and bringing up to speed. Of course, they don't have the production value like a WWE who goes into vignette, show us the week in review, but they spoke it. They were very good ring announcers, commentaries to narrate what's going on with the wrestling show. So I kind of followed it just like that. Good, and that's a great job on that commentary team. And I'm giving you the perspective of a fan who's watching it, who doesn't watch the product all the time. So I wanted to talk about that Buzz Backlund, Will Austin, the reverse, working on the knee, the figure four, the kind of like a figure eight for Backlund, passes out. and Austin gets the title. I really enjoyed this match with them. It was a back and forth with the submission, the character of Buzz Backlund. I want to see more where he develops. We could tell he's could be a little bit wet behind the ears on his wrestling, but the charisma and the character is there for Buzz. It reminds me, when Bob Backlund went that heel turn. He got to work a little bit on the chicken wing for Buzz. But, of course, with more reps in the ring, who am I? I'm just a commentator. I'm just a YouTuber who's making the content about it. But I really enjoyed this match. It was a fun match between these two. And congratulations to the new champion, Will Austin. Kudos, man. Good job on that, becoming the new champion. Also, we saw some earlier matches. Shera and Super C was in the match. I didn't see that match, so I'm not going to tell you exactly. I'm a big fan of Shera. I saw him on TNA. I know he was part of the NXT brand for a little bit a few years ago. We'd love to see him continue to grow in OVW and continue to be a household name in the future. Personally, I'm a fan of him, keeping an eye on him. I would love to have him on the Heel in the Ring podcast to interview him. Would love to have a nice interview with Shera, have a conversation with him. Looks like a real nice, salt of the earth type of guy that I would like to talk to. We'll go to the media, the OVW media champion, Tony Gunn and Cal Hero. Of course, Hero, the birthday boy, defends his title. This is he was taking on a 4-time champion in Tony Gunn. And, of course, Hero coming off of that the title defense against the real one last month. And, of course, he continues to move on and defend his title. Love to see that match. A back-and-forth matchup with these different contractor style. OVW gave you a little bit of everything. A little bit of style. But one thing, their wrestling styles were a little different. But here's the one thing that I enjoyed about this pay-per-view was they told stories. Regardless of the fact they're like, they're a small company. The negative naysayers, I'm going to tell the negative naysayers, they actually told stories. There's a big company that doesn't tell stories. They just give you star matches. These guys, they might have not put on to you guys a 5-star matches, but for me, they hooked me in as a casual watcher because they told a story, and the commentators helped tell that story with backstories of why they're getting these matches, why they want to get at each other, and I thought it was a good showing there with that Kyle Hero defending his title on the OVW media champion. I was very intrigued, very enamored, very entertained. That's what you want as a casual wrestling fan who's just flopping to the channel. I saw I see that I'm a big fan of Tiffany Nieves, and I said, you know what? She's wrestling. Let me watch the whole card, not just the Tiffany Nieves match. I wanted to see the whole card, and I'm going to say I'm very, as of right now, I still got matches to review or give you my thoughts. I was very entertained. We didn't even get to the reason why I tuned into the pay-per-view card. So that's telling you right now, OVW, Al Snow, OVW, the creative, the coaches, the performers are doing something positive and well. Of course, we get the tag teams, Tusk and Chain. First time I saw Tusk and Chain last night with defending their Southern Tag Team Champion, OVW Southern Tag Team Champions against Jake Lawson and Dustin Jackson. Pretty good match. This match was pretty good, very entertaining. I didn't know much about the wrestlers. Again, I just sat there, open-minded, easy concept to see that match between them. Very good matchup. I enjoyed the matchup as well. The outcome could have been a little bit. Yes, you could cross your I's and dot your T's, but that's for the coaches and the producers to clean that up between them. And I'm not going to hear to critique them. The guys went out there. The 4 competitors went out there. Hell of a battle. Good job there. I really enjoyed it. Good job there, guys. You guys did a hell of a job there. I'm going to talk about the women's matchup. Tiffany Nieves and Layla Gray. I did not know, because here I am. I turn away for a moment. I believe that one of the puppies were in the room or whatever the case was. I turn away for a moment. I watch. I saw Layla Gray coming in. She's limping. What's wrong with her? She's walking funny. Again, I want to give kudos to Brian Kenderson, Linda Gray, and Ashcraft for telling us why. Telling us that she was attacked backstage She was attacked, hit with a lead pipe on Thursday. That's the reason why she's coming to the ring and limping. The match starts off. She tried a couple of maneuvers to get Tiffany up on her shoulders. The knee couldn't hold on. Storytelling. They kept telling the story, working the knee. She didn't forget that the knee was injured. She kept wrestling and performing with that compromised knee. The turnbuckle was exposed by Nieves, to where Layla Gray in the match uses it to her advantage to get the victory over Tiffany Nieves. The way they told that story, where it protected Tiffany Nieves as a wrestler, who lost in defeat, but Layla as the champion to retain her title, phenomenal. The ladies continue to kill it. I thought, to me, one of the best match of the card. I really enjoyed that match. That's the reason why I tuned in to watch that match, to watch the OVW Independence Day review, and of course wanted to compel to do a review to tell them, the OVW folks, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And then we get to the main event. The main event, of course, EC3, just by his name alone, oh wow, EC3, I gotta watch it. Luke Curtis, if you don't know Luke Curtis, he was one of the security guards on Monday Night Raw, this past Monday Night Raw, when they were in, I believe they were in Indianapolis, Indiana. He was one of the security guards in front of the door for Kurt Angle, and I recognized him. I said, "Oh, look, that's Luke Curtis." I remember saying on the watch along, and he's taking on the champion EC3. EC3 is the double champion. He is the national OVW national champion, as well as the NWA heavyweight champion. But only the OVW national champion was on the line. Of course, Luke Curtis comes out with Doug Basham, and of course EC3 with Cyrus. They're going to be they're going to play a key part in the match later in the match. The match, of course, what are you going to say when you have an EC3 who is a professional, a pro's pro, with Curtis in the ring? Was a good main event. It gave the folks the sizzle and the steak. The ladies bought the filet mignon, but they bought the porterhouse steak. They gave the sizzle. They bought the what a way to close the show. And the way they used it with Cyrus attacking Doug Basham on the stairs, his head hits on the stairs, he's busted wide open, bleeding, and a concern from Luke Curtis. This is my manager, my mentor, my friend, the one I bought. He came, accompanied me here. We were gonna come finish our story to try to win for at least for tonight the OVW national title. And we couldn't, because that 1 second of hesitation, his concern and his focus on his friend bleeding, because it looked like a bloodbath, like he was busted open, a lot of blood, just was enough for a veteran like EC3 to just get and hit the victory and defend his title and win. Again, storytelling. You told the story. They told the story of the one moment you lose, you hesitate for 1 second. That's the how quickly a world title could fall right out of your hands. That's the story of the match. Loved it. I really enjoyed it. Phenomenal job there with the guys telling that story, getting us to the end of the story. What can I continue to say about this card? This card was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. It even compelled me to do a video on it. I wish I could give you a lot of substance on the backstories of the wrestlers. Again, I can't. I would love to watch OVW on Thursdays. Just not enough. I would love to, I get TNA and I record it on a DVR, and I'm gonna watch the tapings for Thursday on TNA. That's how far behind. There's so much content that I do, and with my 9 to 5 as well. And this is a hobby. This podcasting or these video reviews are hobbies. They do it for fun. And I just would love to talk more OVW, be honest with you guys, because OVW continues to grow, and of course, and I want to thank that Netflix series helped them. The Netflix series helped at least me to keep more eyes. I've heard of OVW, of course. We know John Cena's came from there. We know Brock Lesnar. We know The Miz. We know that it was the NXT before NXT. We know all the great stuff come out of that promotion. And we know that they do a phenomenal job in that territory region there. They're going to expand them to Wisconsin now. Hopefully, the fans continue to support, either by tickets, pay-per-views. We'll love them to have a televised deal. Either hopefully Netflix could. It'd be great if Netflix, now that WWE is on Netflix, it'd be great for them. They did The Wrestler. Why not Netflix? Give them an opportunity to televise weekly. Their TV shows live on Thursdays. I know they're on and on the internet and so forth. They're a little difficult to find. I'm gonna be honest with you. If there is a Netflix where, like, say now that I could go back and see those stories, where they could see their library, go back and see what happened last Thursday to lead up to Independence. I would love that. Again, you got my support, OVW. I don't know, take it for a grain of salt, whatever it is, but you got my support. And of course, there's a storyline with Mick Foley in there. He was attacked backstage. We don't know who attacked Mick Foley. We don't know who or they have speculation who might attack Mick Foley. Good job on Mick Foley going on and helping friend Al Snow on that wrestling with those kids. You can always have that veteran there. There's a backstory with him. One of the wrestlers took out Mr. Sacco. Good to see Mr. Sacco. Again, I don't follow the product that well religiously to give you the name of the wrestler. And I was trying to find it. I couldn't find the name of the wrestler, to be honest with you. So excuse me for that. Apologize for that. But he took out Mr. Sacco. Whenever a Mr. Sacco, two Mr. Saccos comes out, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at that. And look, kudos to, because the reason why I brought that up, and I say, well, you didn't even know the name of the wrestler. The reason why I brought up Mr. Sacco is because you see a veteran like Mick Foley doesn't get bothered that you give him you give a salute homage with Mr. Sacco, one of his gimmick, and that's a gimmick with the sock, not like poor Jordan Grace, who wanted to give a kudos to beat me if you can't survive if I allow you, and you had Taz go up in arms and look like a total douche. Meanwhile, here's the wrestler who's paying homage with Mr. Sacco to Mick Foley. Mick Foley, you know what? That, to me, it was like, cool. I like to see that. That was good to see a Mr. Sacco. I popped. I smiled. I laughed. All the funny things with Mr. Sacco. So there's a big difference between certain wrestlers, certain legends of wrestling, and certain others that are just bitter and just terrible. I know he apologized for it, but it still didn't look good from Taz. And look at this guy putting homage to Mr. Sacco. I was thinking, I don't know why that came to my head. I said, look, he's over here giving homage to Mick Foley, and meanwhile Taz is getting upset because Jordan Grace just finished working out and dares someone to survive. She feels like Taz, unbeatable, and meanwhile Taz is having his panties in a bunch. What a big contrast. But with that said, this is the review here for OVW. I'm a casual. You guys piqued my interest. I followed a lot of them on X. I keep an eye out, of course, with Ms. Nieves and her NWA career. EC3 as well does a phenomenal job on 83 Weeks podcast as well. It comes out time to time as well with Vince Russo. That's where EC3 I see him at, with Vince Russo's podcast. They do good work there. I've seen him from time to time there. He's a good podcaster as well as a wrestler. So a big fan of him. And, of course, Luke Curtis. Good job there. And I too bad I didn't see Cash Flow. I'm a big fan of Cash Flow. I like Cash Flow as well. I don't know if he's still competing or is he more into the instructor role. But Cash Flow, like to see him on a match where he's very entertaining. So, of course. But I want to thank everyone for allowing me to entertain you here with this video. Just wanted to give you my thoughts. I thought the show was a really good B+. If we're gonna go in the Meltzer Tuners star rating system, I mean, from a casual, I gave it a 4 because I followed most of the storylines, all the storylines. I wasn't like, what's this? I wasn't left in the loop. And I followed the whole OPW pay-per-view with what happened with their prior build-up to it. So again, I had to give kudos, an A+ to the commentary team. Ryan, Linda, and Josh, you guys, kudos, because as a person who doesn't watch it, never watches it all the time, I watch it when I can. You guys brought me up to speed. Again, I it sounds like a redundant statement, but just got to give flowers what flowers due to the broadcast team and of Al Snow. Continue to do great work there, and I hope they guys get more financial resources to expand, because I know you guys got something good there. I know that this is some of these wrestlers, most of them might not make it to the big times, to the AEW, to WWE, you know, or even TNA. They might not. They might just fall under the cracks. But there's a home, a place for them to entertain in the Ohio Valley region. We got to support it, man, whatever way we can. Merch, if they have a merch on, get it. It's, you know, we buy a lot of T-shirts. That, you know, buy a T-shirt, man. I'm gonna put my money in my mouth. Is I'm gonna try to see if I know how to get a shirt and do a Heel the Ring podcast with one of the OVW merch. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and hopefully I get a shirt. And we didn't even see Hollywood J, another one who was famous from the Netflix series. There, we didn't get to see her. She didn't know was in on the card, but it didn't really need it. It told a good story. I was very entertained. I'm very happy with what I saw. It wasn't felt like I wasted time of my time, not like a forbidden bore, but you know, you feel like, boy, I watched that pay-per-view, I feel like I wasted 8 hours of my life watching that. Again, it's not taking shots, but I'm just gonna be honest, I really enjoyed OVW, and I will watch it over an All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view. It's just me. But with that said, guys, may the sports be with you. Remember, get over in life, don't get pinned, always kick out. We'll see you next time here on the Heel the Ring podcast with your Sports Jedi Kev. See you later.
Acknowledge me.